This week on the No More Late Fees podcast, we are joined by Leah of the Ashlee and Jessicast. Welcome, Leah.
Hi. Thank you guys so much for having me.
We're very excited. Obviously, we're mutuals and friends on Instagram, on social, and we very much have that mutual love for 90s and 2000s.
Yes.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your podcast, how you started your podcast, and where your love for Jessica Simpson and Ashlee Simpson started?
So yeah, my podcast is the Ashlee and Jessicast, and I started it because I was like, there's so much content to go through from Ashlee and Jessica, whether it be Newlyweds or the Ashlee Simpson show, their music, other projects they've done. And I met Jessica on her book tour right before the pandemic. And then I read her book and I was like, oh, I was like, there's just so much here that needs to be discussed. And so I started it and it was amazing. I loved it. I started building a great community, but I've just always been so obsessed with everything from that time period because that's when I grew up. And Ashlee and Jessica weren't even like my favorite topics of that era. So I was like, I have to get into other stuff. And I feel like there's only so many times I can say to people like, Jessica isn't stupid. She just says things before she thinks about it. So then I like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, I got into other topics. So now I still do Ashlee and Jessica, but I do like different series and I have a Patreon, and my Patreon, I do like everything. So right now I'm doing a series on JC Chazé from NSYNC. And so that's what currently in the world of right now is like the NSYNC world. So it's really fun.
I think you do an amazing job, especially because, you don't always have a guest and, you do stuff by yourself, but you're really good at like storytelling. And I think the first episode I ever listened to, you were talking about Jessica and just like her business acumen. And it was an article actually that it was like a really long article and you kind of went into a deep dive. And I was just like, oh my God, I had no idea about any of this. I didn't know how she started her shoe business. And it was just really interesting, gave a different lens on her as a personality, especially for us who kind of grew up watching everything unfold in real time and seeing the Newlywed show really kind of painted her in a certain light. But I also think she was just smart enough to kind of put herself in that way. Like she knew she was kind of playing a caricature of herself. And
yeah,
so it's really fun. And then, like you said, I love your deep dives. Like you did some on Lindsay Lohan and just like the it girls of the time. So it's really fun. But also, I know that like on your TikToks, you talk about other things like Disney and, your life outside of the podcast. So it's just really fun to follow along on your journey.
Thank you so much. That's so nice. I'm really glad that you enjoy those deep dives because I always think I'm going to be more concise and it just does not work for me. I just have to get into detail.
No, it's fun. I think it's really interesting. And JC, I definitely have to catch up and listen to those episodes. I just have a question. Is he the one really holding up the NSYNC reunion? Because I don't think it's Justin anymore.
I mean, from what I hear, Justin is into it. And no, JC isn't the one that's holding up the reunion. What happened is right after Justin officially told them, I'm not coming back, Chris was like, let's do it as a foursome. And JC didn't want to do that. He felt like that wasn't right. So there was some, I don't want to say animosity, but, I think that the rest of them kind of felt like, well, why do our careers have to be over right now? And so I think over the years, JC's had a lot of things that he's started and that haven't really worked out as well as NSYNC, and he didn't have the same support from the label that Justin had. They were on the same label, Jive, and there were just a few things that happened that were Justin's fault, but then there were all these other things that happened that weren't actually Justin's fault, but he kind of got blamed for it anyway, and it really held up and stalled JC's career. And so he released one solo album, didn't do very well. Then he released a second one, and he wrote and recorded a second one, but he didn't end up releasing it. He gave up on it because because I think he's the type of person that just really does not like to play the showbiz game at all. Whereas Justin is willing to do all the photo shoots and all the talk shows and kiss up to everybody and do all the things. And JC's like, no, I'm just an artist. And I know that sounds kind of like, you know, kind of like a cliche, like, oh, I'm an artiste, I'm too good for that. But I don't think it's that way with him. I think he more just really loves making music and doesn't want to do all of the extra things that go along with it. So he stays behind the scenes now. And all of that to say, I think he just really does not want to do something for money, and he only wants to do it if it's right, because I think he holds those years very close to his heart. And so he doesn't want to kind of sell out and do something unless it's 100% right. Like, that's always what he says. He's like, it has to be the right thing, the right time. But I know, like, Lance is really frustrated because Lance is like, I'm going to be 50 soon. Like, if we don't do this now, when are we going to do this? So
right.
I think that JC is all for what allegedly may be happening right now, but getting the 5 of them together is really difficult, because I think a lot of people think, oh, Justin's the successful one and the rest of them aren't. They are all so busy. They consistently work, and they've really forged careers for themselves, and they're all fathers except for JC. So I think it's just really, really hard to align all of that, their individual goals, their families. And I'm really excited to see what happens, because they definitely are coming out with a new song. So
yeah,
I don't know what that will lead to, but they definitely are coming out with a new song. So that's super exciting. It's just held up right now because of the strike, because it is an affiliation with the film Trolls 3. So that's really, it's like the most unfortunate timing ever. Is like, we've been waiting 20 years and now this has to happen. But we're all going to get through it. Thoughts and prayers would be nice at this time. And and it's going to be great when it happens. It'll be worth the wait.
It better be. I'm getting sick and tired. I'm tired and sick. I'm over it at this point. But I'm also like, yes, please take my money. I'll be there when you guys decide this.
Immediately.
Yeah. I just actually posted something on our stories because Destiny's Child, Jackie,
I
saw
when you sent it to me.
25-year anniversary is coming up, and then there's like a website in the works. And here's what I gotta say. I don't know about JC and Justin and them, but I do know about Beyonce, Kelly, and Michelle, and they don't play with us.
No,
they don't. They don't break promises, and they don't tease things that they don't execute on. So Jackie, start saving that money, because Mama's going on tour and we gonna see Destiny's Child.
Oh, it's gonna be so expensive.
Nothing's too expensive for your girl.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see Destiny's Child. I never saw them back in the day, so that would be amazing. I was a huge fan of them.
Yes, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yes, same.
Yeah. At least Beyonce came back and did one album, and they did a tour, right? When she came back,
they did a best of album, because I think they just had like one more album on their contract, and then they reunited for the Super Bowl, and then they reunited for her Coachella set. But I don't think they did a tour after they ended. I actually have their last tour on DVD.
Oh, yeah. I saw Michelle's comment on how she was like, if it was up to me, you know, I would go in between solo project and then Destiny's, and solo project and then Destiny's. And I'm like, like, I think Beyonce and Justin are in a really awkward position, you know, because it's like they have to go after their own goals and do their own thing. But at the same time, they know how much their fans want these reunions to happen. Right. And of course, you know, I know that Beyonce and Justin have both said like, oh, those are my sisters, those are my brothers. So they must also feel some guilt about it too, you know, but what are they supposed to do? Just, you know, clear their schedule.
I mean, I think they have guilt, but I think also is the difference, I think, between Justin's situation and like Beyonce is just the fact that it was always very clear the trajectory in which Beyonce was going to end up going, especially for Kelly, who's been with Beyonce for such a long time. I think they always knew the route was to go solo. And Kelly has talked about like, I'm not, that is my sister. I'm not in any competition. She's like in a whole other category in talent and ambition. Like, I think the girls support her, and I think Beyonce loves them so much, and like even her sister as well, like would just love to be. She wouldn't mind having them with her all the time, but I think just where she wanted to go and her ambition was just totally different than the other two girls. So I think there's a balance there. Justin, I don't know. I know he wanted to go solo, but they were also going through other issues too, like with their management, and all of those guys like they all had their own singing careers or wanting to do their own thing, and then kind of came into like a group. So I don't know. Destiny's Child, they were just so young when they started. They've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, those old videos of them performing it in like Beyonce's yard. I love that.
It's so cute. But obviously you're joining us to do Pleasantville this week, which we're really excited about. So we have like a fun game called Rank 'em. During the 90s, there were so many 60s, 50s TV shows that were turned into movies. So we are going to name off a bunch of those TV shows turned movies, and you're going to have to rank them. I think there
are 7 altogether.
1 through 7. So 1 being the best, 7 being the worst, and you won't know which one's coming up next. And so Jackie will just kind of read them off for you.
Okay. Oh no.
Our first one is Bewitched.
Oh, wait. Are you talking about Nicole Kidman?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess that one's like in the middle. You guys aren't gonna give your opinions? It's just me?
It's just you.
Maybe
I
after.
I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I really like the cinematography, the color palette.
Yeah.
So okay, there's 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put that at number 3.
Okay. Yeah, it did have beautiful, like, I don't know what happened to the color in movies, but I miss it.
Why is everything so dark?
I don't know.
I'm like, I can't see what's going on.
Excuse me. Our next one is The Brady Bunch.
Oh, that's number 1.
It
I
is
feel
a
like
really
that
good remake.
It's yeah, I feel like they really captured the original show, which I didn't even watch that much, but like whatever I had seen on Nick at Night, I felt like they did a good job of like capturing it, but also making it modern so that whenever it was that I saw it, I mean, I know I was a kid, I don't know how old, but I was like, oh, I love this. So
it was really funny.
Our next one is The Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I barely remember that at all. Was that like mid 90s?
Yeah.
Like, it was
towards
like
97 maybe?
90s.
Was it? I don't remember.
I thought it was like 94 or something like that. Oh my gosh, I literally haven't seen that since probably since the 90s.
93.
No.
93.
It was 93?
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Okay. I feel like just because of that, I need to put it at number 2. Because I feel like that was kind of an it was like an early adopter of that, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't the trend yet. They were kind of setting the trend.
They really were.
So yeah, I'll put yeah.
Next up is Leave It to Beaver.
Oh, see, I didn't even see that one. Who was in that one?
God, I don't even remember. I remember the kid's face, but I can't remember. That was Dennis the Menace. I was like, Walter Matthau. No, but that was Dennis
are you
going
to bring up Dennis the Menace? Because no, that one is number 1.
No, I didn't put it. I didn't even put it on here.
Okay, that was my favorite. I watched that 100 times. Okay, but that's fine. It's not in here, so we don't have to worry. Okay, yeah,
Eric
I don't
Von
know.
Detten
I didn't.
Was Wally Cleaver in it?
Oh, that's right. Eric Von Detten was in it.
See, he was so cute. I loved that movie Brink. That was so good.
We just did that one.
You did?
What a flashback.
Oh, I have to listen to that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I don't remember. See, I didn't see that. I don't think I saw it at all. I don't even think I ever saw the original. I just would always hear Leave It to Beaver because it was such a reference that everybody would say. So I guess I have to put that one at number 7, which maybe it's a good movie. Sorry.
The Honeymooners.
Now this one came out in 2005. It has like Gabrielle Union and is it Gabrielle Union? Oh crap. Cedric the Entertainer, Mike Epps. Mm-hmm. So it's a remake, but it's also an all-black cast.
Honestly, they should have done that more. I feel like that I'm surprised they're not doing that now. I mean, I know they are with a lot of shows, but not really like 50s and 60s shows.
Yeah.
Let me think. I do remember watching that on like TBS or something one day. And it was good. I wasn't like it was amazing, but I don't know. It just depends what this last one is.
I think I'm gonna put that.
So we have 2 more.
Yeah.
Okay, we have 2 more. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to put that one at number 6 because I don't really remember like that much about it.
Okay, our next one is the Flintstones.
Oh, I forgot about that. I loved that one. Oh my gosh. What's his name? Kyle MacLachlan. So funny.
Cute in that movie.
Oh my God. I loved like I thought like his scenes were so funny. I used to watch that constantly. Okay. So
Did I 4 and 5 spots left.
Okay, so that has to be 4. It would have been higher. I would have put that higher. I definitely would have put that over Bewitched. Like no question.
And our last one is the Addams Family.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So if I could have done it correctly, like that probably would have been that would have been 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely the one I've watched the most, like over the years. I constantly watch the Addams Family Values. So like I'm so into all that spooky, like the gothic stuff. Morticia, like I still quote that all the time, especially Angelica Houston. Like her lines are just so perfect.
It's one of those rare things where the Addams Family Values is better than the original.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Debbie.
Oh my God. One of the best characters. They just have, first of all, the cast is some of the best. And they're all like, they have character actors in there. They just, it's so damn good. Christopher Lloyd is hilarious.
It's so good. Like Addams Family Values, I think like it just, the whole scene where they're at camp and like doing the Thanksgiving play, and then like Wednesday finds the kid that's like as weird as her. It's like it's just so perfect. And then at the end when Debbie goes crazy and is yelling about the Barbie, oh, it was perfect.
I love how calm they are in that scene too. Yeah. Like they're just like okay, it's girl, okay, girl. Be unhinged.
I love that energy. I just love the whole everything is backwards to them, and like anytime she references something horrible, they're like so touched by it. It's and you know how you get like when you watch a movie over and over again during childhood, you get just like random lines like stay with you. My friend and I, we always used to say to each other, like for years, for no, like out of the blue, we would just be like Malibu Barbie. Like
I was like a ballerina, graceful, delicate. They had to go.
The fact that she wasn't in a cameo in the Barbie movie is just a
missed opportunity.
Big, 100%. I love her so much. Well, you did great. I know some of these were harder because I made sure to put Addams Family last because I knew that one was going to be kind of a crusher. That's a good one.
Oh my God, for sure. Yeah.
Didn't MC Hammer sing the Addams Family theme song?
Huh?
Didn't MC Hammer sing the Addams
Family song? Of course.
Yeah, there had to be a rap.
Yeah. Loved. That was the best part for me. You know I love me some MC Hammer. Oh yeah. I feel like
there were like a bunch of movies where they were like, oh, like hip hop is cool, so we need to get a hip hop artist to come in and do a little song at the end. And
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 did that with Vanilla.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Yeah. Ridiculous. I love
my favorite is the LL Cool J one from Deep Blue Sea. Have you guys done that movie?
Not yet.
I love LL Cool J. He's so good in that movie. Oh my gosh. And the song is like ridiculous. And then in the video, he's like literally turning into a shark and he plays the shark.
I had to go back and rewatch that now.
YouTube that one, everyone. Seriously.
So, fun fact, Leah, you worked at Blockbuster as well.
Oh my God. Yes, I did. I loved working there. It was so fun. It was like my dream to work there. Like I really, really wanted to work there. I actually started working there when I was 17 instead of 18 because I just went in there and I was like, I really want to work here and I'm turning 18 in a few months. So can I just work here? And the manager was amazing. She was so nice. It was my first job ever. I never had a job. I don't know why she hired me. I probably started talking so much about movies that she was like, okay, she can at least like help people find things, even if she's, this is her first job and she doesn't know what she's doing. So yeah, I got hired and I worked there for a really short time though, because by the time I was even old enough, it was closing. So that was sad. But before I was old enough, when I was growing up, I was always like, this would be the best job ever. They play movies, you get to talk to people about movies and you get free movies and like what could be better than that? And I did like the working there was so much fun. Did you guys feel the same?
At times.
I always said like if I could just be alone with the movies, it would be great. Like I did not like the customers.
Oh no.
And at one point I was a manager, so like I only got like the grumpy customers, but my sweet spot was like prepping the wall for the Tuesday new releases, or like just reshelving and cleaning and doing the FOS list. I love counting down drawers at night. Like that was where my talent shone.
My sweet spot was telling off customers, selling things because I was good at sales.
Danielle was really good at sales, especially when we had to sell like the Blockbuster online and the rewards. I was like, I'm not forcing people to buy this stuff. And Danielle's like, let me tell you why you need this in your life.
We were a dream team. If
I
Jackie
remember that. Wait, you guys worked together?
Yeah.
Same store? Oh, that's right. Oh my God, that's so fun.
I did that. Like when we did inventory, because then we would close the whole store, play music, and then it was always fun for me to find something that was in the wrong place and have to be able to put it back.
And so at the first store I ever worked at, it was one of the older setups and they had wood shelves. And so the bottom shelf was like slanted. If you can't see on Spotify, I'm holding my hands at angles. So the bottom shelf was slanted so like people could see the movies because they were like slanted up towards them. But there was a gap in the middle of those two boards. And I realized one day that either people that were stealing things were shoving cover boxes down there, or stuff would just fall back there and then it would be lost forever. So then that became my obsession. Like once a month, I would take my compact mirror and like look in between all of those shelves and pull out all of the movies that people had stuck down there or had fallen back there.
Yeah, there was nothing worse than when someone would ask for a movie and you would search it and it would say like you have one copy, but like it was never on the shelf. And you're just like, why does it keep saying this?
Yeah.
And
I feel like I found the Fifth Element. It was in the hole.
So as you know, being an ex-Blockbuster employee, that we had employee picks or staff picks. So we're going to give you the opportunity to pick 3 movies that you would recommend that would be from the time frame of 1995 to 2005 that we would put on our Blockbuster wall.
Oh my God. I mean, I could recommend probably 200. Well, yeah, I mean, I used to do this all the time when I worked there, actually. I loved when people would have like a really specific, they'd be like, I really love, this particular movie and this particular vibe. And, I like law dramas, but it also has to be like fun. And I would try to be like, okay, like think like, Okay, so the first one that I thought of is from 2001. It's one of my all-time favorite movies still, Vanilla Sky by Cameron Crowe, which is a remake of a Spanish film called Abre los Ojos, which means open your eyes. And Penelope Cruz actually starred in that version. And then she came over and starred in the American version as well. And Cameron Crowe was like riding a high at the time. He had just won an Oscar. Well, actually, it was right before he won the Oscar because he had to leave from doing Almost Famous and then start shooting Vanilla Sky like the next week for it to work, because that was the only time that he would have Tom Cruise. And it's this movie about Tom Cruise plays this very rich Nepo baby who is not really, I guess because he's had so much handed to him, he doesn't really appreciate his life and he's kind of lost, but everybody thinks that he's like perfect and life is amazing because he's rich and good looking and, you know, has all these women and everything. And then well, see, I don't even know how to describe the plot without giving anything away. I don't even remember what they give away in the trailer, but like there's a lot in that. Let's just say like the movie is not what it seems.
Yeah. It's
and
definitely like a switcheroo on you while you're watching it, for sure.
Yeah. And the movie, I love any movie that kind of plays with like what is reality and like what really matters. And if you have to make certain choices about your life, like what are you going to lean into? Like, are you going to lean into what really matters, or are you going to stay like on the more shallow end of things and just kind of like not fully go there and not fully feel it, which actually kind of like ties into Pleasantville too as well. But yeah, it's just one of those movies that like cuts into my soul. And I think that Penelope Cruz gives one of the best performances ever given on camera, especially toward the end. She's just unbelievable, which is not the right thing to say about an actress. She's very believable. She's extremely believable. So yeah, you've seen that, Danielle?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen it, Jackie?
I have not. I don't care for Tom Cruise, so I tend not to watch his movies.
Well, I mean, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Cameron Diaz is in it as well. I think it's one of those where he won't bother you as much, I would say.
Well, yeah, I mean, without getting into like a whole Tom Cruise discussion, I, am not really a fan of like his life, but him as a performer. I mean, my wish for you, Tom, if you're listening, is that you'll go back to doing movies like Vanilla Sky and Magnolia and stuff where you have an actual character and it's not just like you jumping from one moving vehicle to another. As exciting as that is for everybody, all your fans that love it, I'm sure, but I mean, he really can act. He is such a phenomenal actor. And I mean, it's great for those moments in stuff like Top Gun Maverick where, he's in that one scene with Val Kilmer was like very moving and stuff. But I prefer the movies where he actually like is that moving the whole time,
Yeah. I mean, he's very versatile and you could tell that he like loves cinema, like even with Top Gun and stuff like that. Yeah, they're popcorn movies. But the whole experience of movies and going to the movies, I think he very, very much, he's very passionate about it. And despite his many flaws, I do appreciate that about him. But I do he's one of the most versatile actors that we have. I think because of his craziness, we kind of push that to the side, but he is a very good actor, solid and consistent all around.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the next one that I'm going to pick is Now and Then. Have you guys done that on here?
Mm-hmm.
We have.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I have to listen to that episode. That was like a very, very influential movie for me as a kid. I think that it is such a beautiful story about friendship and just the fact that it's like 4 girls that are each so different and they have really developed characters. There's no one that's like, oh, like she's the airhead, like she's the, smart one. It's like they are those things, but they're also so much more. So I really felt kind of like seen, like I felt like there was a part of me in each of those girls and I could relate to each of them. And I think the world building in that movie is so real. Like it just really feels like a real place and real families and real friends and everything they're going through feels so real. So that's that also is like a really good movie to watch at the beginning of the summer because it makes you feel like, okay, like now I'm gonna have a really cool summer because I'm gonna go on adventures and stuff. And then the third one that I'll pick, trying to pick something that like probably everybody doesn't pick. Has anyone done the Robin Williams movie, What Dreams May Come?
No, that's also a good one.
It's such an underrated movie for Robin Williams. Like, he is amazing in it. It's a very like intense movie. It's about, there's like all these tragedies that happen to this family, and this mother loses her kids and her husband. And so she ends up committing suicide, and the movie takes place in heaven and hell. And it's like them kind of traveling throughout these worlds like that they've obviously like don't know how to navigate. And it's very like heavy-handed. It's very like, in a way, it's like what you would expect. But then what they do with the cinematography is so powerful. And there's moments where you're like crying because you're so happy, and then there's moments where you're crying because you're so heartbroken. And it's just like a really beautiful love story about like not giving up on somebody no matter what. And like, you know, even if you have to go through hell, like literally, like that's why I'm saying it's heavy-handed, because it's like the metaphors, which like Pleasantville too, but like it's like you literally will go through hell for somebody, and that's what he does. And he is just, I mean, it's just so powerful. He was amazing. And it's one that if you love Robin Williams and you haven't seen that one, you have to watch it for sure.
Yeah. I love that there's so many comedians that I feel like comedians, you have to kind of, people don't realize that because they're funny that they don't stem from a lot of darkness at times. And so when they are able to make that move to dramas and people are always surprised, I'm like, I'm surprised that you're surprised, because to have the levity that it takes to do comedy usually comes from a lot of pain. So it's always nice to see. And he's another versatile actor that I really miss him.
I know.
Definitely.
So sad. But if people want to obviously go check out your podcast, why don't you tell them where they can find you on social and listen to your podcast?
So I am on Instagram and Twitter at Capria Moon. So that's CAPRIAMOON. That's like my personal. And then I on Twitter and Instagram for my podcast. Twitter is at Ashlee Jessicast, and Instagram is at Ashlee and Jessicast. And then my podcast is, you know, Apple, Spotify, all the typical ones that you can find it wherever you listen to sounds. And yeah, if anyone else needs any more recommendations for movies, just hit me up, because I have like a whole catalog in my head. It was very hard to choose 3. I was like, what the hell am I going to choose?
And you guys can also check us out at No More Late Fees on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Threads, you know, all the usual places. And stay tuned for our Pleasantville episode with Leah later this week.
And as always, be kind and rewind.
Yes.